Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. You know, I don't want to start the show off with a complaint, but every time we come into the studio early in the morning, it just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. 78 degrees right now in the studio. Oh, my God. You ever try sleeping with that weather or that heat? I got to have it at 65 to 68. Let the blanket warm you up.
So those hot takes from the pregame show, Bonta.
No, that's what it is. That's what it is. I did hear some of your hot takes. You've had a lot of hot takes. A lot of them. Talk about John Elway last week. Know your role, Spadol. Know your role. Anyway, good morning, everybody out there. It started raining, so if you're getting ready for work, you're trying to get to work, drive safely. Good morning to all the graveyard shift workers. Good morning to Love, Miss Spadoni and you, Joe Shasky III. Got a lot going on today. OKC Warriors. Curse, we'll talk about that a little bit. CJ Holmes will talk to us at 8 o'clock. 8:30, Matt Barrows, your guy. He'll talk to us about the 49ers situation because things are heating up, Shasky, in the world of the NFL today. The deadline for the franchise tag. That is the deadline today, so we're looking at Lamar Jackson. We're looking at the New York Giants and Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. Buddy's flying off the table. Derek Carr gets $150 million, 100 guaranteed. It's just, what? What is going on? Geno Smith gets 52 guaranteed with Seattle. What does it all mean for the Niners? Anyway, man, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great.
You sure you're great?
Other than reading all the stuff about the Niners and the quarterback, I'm just exhausted by
See,
it.
this is, I don't know how to say this, Shasky. This is why you got to scale back on the internet. See, ever since the season's been over in the world of football, we know about Brock Purdy getting the surgery, and apparently he's going to get the surgery on Friday. And we'll find out his timetable about that. But all the think pieces every single day about who's going to play quarterback. Like, I saw when people started bringing up Matt Ryan last week, and I said, okay, we're not being serious. We're just throwing names out there, just throw names out there. Andy Dalton, we're just throwing names out there just to throw names out there. Mitchell Trubisky, all right, what are we doing to ourselves? So I scale back, and I don't read the think pieces. But I do wonder with all the rhetoric around the 49ers quarterback and everybody talking about Brock Purdy and Matt Ryan and veteran quarterbacks, what about Trey Lance? What about Trey? Are we just done with Trey? And when I say we, I mean the 49ers.
It feels very James Wiseman-esque. I'm not saying I feel that way.
Wiseman vibes.
No, it feels exactly like it. Am I wrong?
No.
I am so sick. Like, it drives me to beat. I was coaching on a baseball field yesterday. All right. And I'll say this to the kids. Okay. Steph Curry has a coach. Steph Curry's still developing. Even though he's one of the greatest players who's ever lived, is he not trying to add elements to his game?
He's trying to get better and better and better.
Exactly. So this misnomer that the Niners are all frozen in carbonite, or the Warriors, and that they can't develop anyone else because it's all about winning now, and every guy on the roster has to be a win-now player, that is just unequivocally false. That's not how sports works. They're constantly trying to upgrade the roster. I was talking about Talanoa Hufanga yesterday, but right? If this was a win-now roster, you don't have the time to develop Talanoa Hufanga. Right. Yet, somehow, they did. And boy, it didn't look great all year long, but it showed a lot of promise. And you're looking up a year later, and aren't you glad they played them?
Well, think about Kansas City. They just won a Super Bowl.
How many rookies?
And their secondary had nothing but rookies. And Andy Reid told them in training camp, look, you're going to get torched. You're going to get beat a lot. You're going to struggle at times. But the goal is to get better every single week. And we'll win. It may not be pretty, but you will get better every single week. So by the time the Super Bowl came around, they were not a liability. Secondary actually did their thing against a tough Philadelphia Eagles offense. So with that said about Hufanga, and you can plug and play a Hufanga when you have a Fred Warner or Drake Greenlaw and Nick Bosa and guys around him to where, okay, we could play to his strengths while he gets better in other areas in terms of pass coverage, which is his weakness. We can get better by the week, so we're going to plug and play him there. Same thing with the offensive line. We saw that with Spencer Burford and Aaron Banks. Okay, they're not Banks wasn't ready his first rookie year, but we're going to redshirt him. He's going to watch. He's going to learn. And by the time year 2 comes around, it's not going to be a finished product, but we're going to feel comfortable playing him. Same thing with Spencer Burford. Those guys got better by the week. Hell, even Jake Brindle got better by the week.
Why can't we apply that same logic to someone like Trey Lance?
I don't know why. Especially because of the small sample size. Like,
well,
we
that's
have
the
seen
biggest
no-
thing. We're
we've
acting
seen
like
nothing.
we're acting like he had an 11-game runway
Right.
and they were 2-9.
No, it's funny text here. Xfinity mobile text line. Does Jeff George have anything left in the tank? I mean, that's how we're talking about these veteran quarterbacks.
It really feels that way.
It's kind of funny. But Trey Lance, look, I've sound like a broken record. We know the games he's played. We know the games he's missed. We know the reps that he's had. We just haven't seen enough to say bust. Like, we saw enough for Jamarcus Russell to say, okay, that's a bust. We saw enough for Ryan Leaf to say, okay, that's a bust.
Well, and Jamarcus, just real quick on Jamarcus, he did things that were unbecoming of a quarterback in terms of the preparation that was needed and required from the position. Have we heard? And I'm not ripping Jamarcus. I actually think it's a really sad tale when you go into his story because there were lots of things I didn't know. Have we heard any of the preparation? Like, he doesn't study. He doesn't work hard. Guys around him don't respect him. Guys don't like him. They might not think he's the greatest, but I haven't heard the question marks in terms of preparation.
No, you know what we heard?
Huh?
When he was a rookie, going into training camp, we monitored his iPad, and he had the most time on the iPad.
You're talking about Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Now people will probably say, well, he was probably watching YouTube videos, or he was doing it like before his rookie year. Before his rookie year, we're all ranting and raving to everybody that Trey Lance spent the most time on his iPad. Okay, so what happened now? Now he doesn't spend time on the iPad. Like, the reverse has happened. The kid needs a chance to play. So in terms of the bust label, like Geno Smith is a perfect example. Geno Smith, before this year, would have been labeled a bust. Oh, he's a first-round bust. Oh, he didn't work with the Giants. Oh, he didn't work with the Jets. Blah, blah, blah. Not a guy signed for $52 million guaranteed. A 3-year, $105 million contract. Comeback player of the year. Sometimes you just need a shot in a very good environment.
I agree with that.
And that Seattle environment was perfect for him.
I agree.
Sometimes you just need a shot.
We just saw with Andrew Wiggins. I mean, we just saw with Andrew Wiggins with the Golden State Warriors where, I mean, you're talking about the number 1 overall pick who was, we questioned his work ethic. We questioned his heart. We questioned how good he was. Can he do, we kept moving the goalposts too. Well, can he do it in the playoffs?
Right.
Well, can he do it in the finals? Can he lock down that guy? Can he lock down that guy? Can he improve his three-point shooting? What about his free throws? We constantly moved the goalpost, and it felt like last year Wiggins checked every single box. No?
Yep.
Now, I don't know if Trey Lance is Andrew Wiggins.
He might not be.
But at some point, can we get a chance to just see it? Like, I don't know why we're in such a rush. Like, this report that came out yesterday, and I know, you tell me to stay off the internet, but it's like constantly getting thrown on. It's every 5 minutes I open the internet and I get a notification from Bleacher Report. Phillip Rivers reached out to the Niners. Why?
For this year?
Last year.
He reached out to the Niners.
You didn't see that?
I saw something about Phillip Rivers, but I didn't. Last year. I don't, like, here's my deal.
Phillip Rivers, who fell flat on his face and couldn't move or throw and lost his job to Carson Wentz.
Yeah, listen.
Phillip Rivers.
I don't care. Like, that's why I don't click on this stuff. That's why I kind of just scroll through. Like, I read my stories. I do all this stuff.
Go Chargers, go.
I don't really care about all these things.
But Niner fans do. There's an insatiable thirst right now for Niners content. And with the uneasiness of what's going to happen with this surgery with Brock Purdy, you know what? I think it's created chaos with Niner fans.
But it's every fan base. It's every fan base. We're here in this bubble with the 49ers. They're going crazy. We do have one of the loudest fan bases, no doubt.
You think Cincinnati fans, just for 1 second, you think Cincinnati fans are arguing about Joe Burrow?
Well, of course not. They have their franchise quarterback.
I know. That's why
the Niners don't have their franchise quarterback.
I know, and in many
the Bills
ways,
don't have their franchise quarterback. But do you know who is arguing about a franchise quarterback? The New York Jets.
Yes.
2 years after taking Zach Wilson in the same draft as Trey Lance, they're going crazy. New York Giant fans are going crazy. You think Cowboy fans aren't going crazy about Dak Prescott?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of loud.
No, that's
Justin
true.
Fields in Chicago.
That's true.
Quarterback position is the position in all of American sport. It is the one we hang on to, and we give quarterbacks wins. We say the team lost because of the quarterback. The quarterback gets so much blame. It gets so much praise. It's ridiculous.
So, like, and I had said this flippantly. It was more of like there are days, I'm not saying overall, but there are days where I'm envious of a team like Jacksonville for this simple reason. They know that they've got Trevor Lawrence. Now, the Niners are a better run organization. They've got a better roster. They've had way more success. But God, it's just every offseason, I almost wish we had the in a weird way. as much as I love this whole roster, there are days where I wake up and I'm so fatigued by the quarterback thing. I almost wish we just had quarterback and no other position, and all we had to do was fill around that guy. I know that sounds crazy to say out loud because that's diminishing all the great wins that we've had over the years. But there are some days I wake up and I'm like, I'm envious of Jacksonville.
Nah,
they're united behind Trevor Lawrence.
I will never be envious of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I know it sounds absurd.
Are you insane?
It sounds absurd. I know.
The Jacksonville Jaguars won the AFC South last year. Congrats to them. And they lost in the second round to Kansas City. Now, they have a good thing going up, but I will never be envious of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm just saying in terms of like the rhetoric around the team.
Well, the Niners have had a lot of success.
Oh, no, they've had unprecedented
success. For the last 4 years, they're in the Final Four. And
it's frustrating. And I think that's where the chaos comes in terms of like the panic, not just internally with the Niners, but with the fan base, B. Because people want to win a ring so bad, and they're afraid that it's going to fall off the cliff like the Harbaugh era.
But to me, there's no sense of panicking in March. Legal tampering period hasn't even started yet. Like Jesse Bates, I'm looking at my timeline right now. Jesse Bates, safety for the Cincinnati Bengals, will not get the franchise tag. And yesterday you asked me, top priorities for the 49ers, top priorities, top 3. I want a safety. I would love to have Jesse Bates. He's a damn good cover safety. That will make me feel better. Now, the quarterback spot, sure. We've talked about it every single offseason. Every single offseason since I've been here. But however, we knew that Jimmy for at least 3 years was the quarterback.
Yeah, and it was more like, is he good enough? Can he stay healthy? Like those, looking back, boy, I miss those conversations.
Well, I like the conversations now. Who's it going to be? What's going to happen with Brock Purdy's elbow? What's the surgery going to mean? What does it mean for Trey Lance? And what does it mean for a veteran quarterback coming into this building? We're going to get some clarity before June. We're going to have a lot of clarity.
You think so?
On the quarterbacks. Yeah, and whoever it is, I'm going to expect you to go out there and help this team hum and get back to a point that you were at last season.
It's the Niners. You think there's going to be a straight line on quarterback this year?
I mean,
it's going to be up and down for the next, for forever.
Yeah. So Phillip Rivers called the Niners, not the Niners called him.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You think the Niners hung up the phone on him?
I have no idea. But it's just like what's next? Like Jeff Garcia hit them up.
Why does that outrage?
It's not outraging. It's just like they're linked to everyone.
But you're so stressed right now because you brought up Phillip Rivers and everything. Like I don't care.
Has it not been a roller coaster?
A little bit, but you roll with it. Roller coasters are fun.
Oh, are they?
You don't have fun on the Top Gun?
There's this little level of anxiety when you start to creep up and you get it in the little pit of your stomach. Come on, everyone knows that feeling. Like, yes,
I love roller
ultimately
coasters.
the roller coaster is fine because you know you're going to get off the ride at the very end.
Oh, it's fun.
I'm still in this thing.
Last year was fun.
I'm white knuckle gripping this bad boy. Why do you think Disney, when they snap photos of people coming down on certain rides, the looks on people's faces are all over the map?
Yeah, I hear you. Jesse Bates.